Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. It is, of course, once again for a shop tour, and we're going to start with a race report, but here we are, March 13th. If you've been watching these shop tours, you know that I was gone last week at Road Atlanta, which was awesome, which we'll talk about here in a minute. On the bench right now, you can see nothing has really changed. So I'm expecting the pistons for Bill's engine to be in literally today. Then we will have some actual progression over the next week. So let's get straight into the shop tour. A lot of what we'll be talking about today is our race recap. Now, what do I always say when you get back from a race weekend? Get started on the car right away. So we've got Ken's car up on the lift. I already warmed it up and dumped the AccuSump, starting to change the oil, but I'm going to get right after it. Car came through the weekend perfectly, and 2 more wins for Ken Kennard, 2 more Super Tour wins. So he is now 6 for 6 wins for the season. Car worked perfectly. He drove well, of course, and boy, it just worked out great. Joe did a good job with track support. Everything worked great on the car. Couldn't ask for much more. A lot of action at Road Atlanta Super Tour last week, guys. So we can start with E-Production. Peter Norton actually was highly impressive last weekend in his Caterham. And actually, shout out to Peter, if he's watching. He lowered my lap record that I had in the Z3 from about 3 or 4, something like that. By 0.4 of a second. So congratulations to Peter for the new lap record. He got the win on Saturday. Tyler had a couple of second lap issues, Tyler Ladd in the Z3. But then, so Peter won on Saturday, and then they had a great race going on Sunday, and that's when Peter set the lap record. And then he actually had a problem, unfortunately, in his Caterham, and Tyler went on for the win, which was awesome. And then Bill Miller and had a great race with Doug Piner towards the end of the race. Doug ended up second in his Z3, and then Bill was third in the 328. So, and a lot of good learning for everybody. So that's E-Production. F-Production, Mason Workman was on the pole both days. I know he had some transmission troubles the first day, and Ken got around him and took the win with Mason second. And then Mason had some sort of a driveline failure on Sunday while leading by a pretty good margin. I don't know exactly what happened to his car yet, but and then Ken inherited the lead after that and won there. So in H Production, guys, wow. When I came into H Production, I had no idea that I was going to be racing in a class that we were going to have this much awesome racing. So myself and Chuck Mathis and Steve Sargis, I know on Saturday, all 3 of us led at one point, multiple times. My in-car video was a little screwed up for Saturday, so we don't have that one, but we kind of had a complete redo on Sunday and did the same thing. I don't think Steve ever led on Sunday. Chuck and I went back and forth a little bit, but with Steve running third and kind of seesawing, Steve ended up getting the lap record, which was 2.2 seconds under the record that we had going into the weekend. So I know Chuck had reset the lap record on Saturday about a second faster, and then Steve went another second faster after that on Sunday. And what an awesome track. So I haven't been to Road Atlanta a ton. I've been there, but I've never felt as comfortable as I did leaving the weekend. Man, the car is dialed in. Let me tell you guys, the car, the new shocks just worked amazing. I was super, super happy with that. I don't know that there's a lot I would have changed about the car itself. So the prep was good. The handling was good. I think the driver was the, if there was anything that needed some improvement over the weekend as the weekend went on, it was the driver. And then as I got more and more comfortable with the car and the track, we really did good. So I finished second to Chuck on Saturday by about 1/10. We were nose to tail. And then on Sunday, he had, while leading, he had an off-road excursion coming out of turn 5, and I got a little bit of a gap. And then we had a little back and forth with a car that you'll see, because we are going to post the in-car video from Sunday's race. And Chuck was right back up to me at the end of the race, and we had, I'm not going to ruin it for you, watch the in-car video. I ended up making it to the checkered flag first, but it wasn't the prettiest finish of my career, I can tell you that. But super happy about how the car performed. We had a little bit of rain right at the end of the race on Sunday. You can see the car is just filthy. So we had a little bit of spitting, which always makes you a little nervous when you're racing, but worked out well. So picked up 1 win and 1 second place finish on Saturday. I can't say as I've ever been as happy to finish second as I was on Saturday. We just had an amazing race. So it was a ton of fun. Really respectful racing between the 3 of us. It was a great time, really was a great time. So that's kind of our race report for the weekend. So when we come into our shop tour this week, let me just kind of show you guys what we've got going on. So I am officially now in charge of Steve Weil's complete program, which means trailer, prep, unloading, loading, tools, keeping everything going. So, and there's a lot to it. We can start down here. So he uses a Polaris Ranger at the track to get around and pull the car to and from the grid. You don't really want to drive these GT1 cars too often. So got a really nice Ranger. I'm getting it all cleaned up in preparation. So I'll kind of give you a tour of everything that entails going to the racetrack with a car like this. So we've got a really nice tire rack here. We've got our 2 sets of tires on the rack, plus we'll have a set for the car. And he actually has a proper pit box, which, you know, one of these professional pit boxes that basically has everything you need in it in a pinch when it comes to tools, and just kind of getting everything organized here. I did notice that we need some more nitrogen for the bottom, so we've got that going on. But there's a lot to this, right? So we've got a fuel pump and an air pump, all sorts of bits and pieces. But let's go into the trailer. So what we have here is we have a stacker trailer, a really nice stacker trailer. And the car obviously goes up on top. And I am tasked to clean this thing out and get it organized. So I'm working on what you can see here, which is a bit of a disaster. So what I want to do is take this trash can right here, kind of go like this, into the trash. But I'm trying to whittle through everything. So I'm going to get this all cleaned off. We've got great drawers in here. We've got a great cabinet system in this trailer. A really good place for hospitality up front that needs to be cleaned out. So I'm just kind of reorganizing this the way that I would do my trailer. And I'm sure most of you guys have seen my trailer organization video. If you haven't, check it out. It's on the channel. Trailer organization and knowing where all your stuff is, to me, is one of the critical parts to having a successful race weekend. So Steve wanted me to spend the time to get all of this organized. So that's kind of what I'm working on today. We've got a beautiful week in Topeka. It's in the 70s in the afternoons. Couldn't ask for much more. But we've got a lot more stuff coming into the shop real soon. I'm going to get all this organized and under control. And then over the next few weeks, you guys are going to see a bunch more new stuff coming, like always. So if you haven't checked out the races from last weekend, of course, they have those great videos. You can get on YouTube and you can look up SCCA official, and you can go back and you can watch all the races. There were a ton of great races. Mike Taylor, actually, the STL guys had a great weekend overall. So Mike Taylor ended up winning on Saturday, and John Sewell ended up winning on Sunday, a couple of JPM engine customers. But some weird stuff, check out the videos. So the STL guys had a great race, and of course we had great racing in production, but a really fun place. Man, Atlanta, 2 thumbs up for Road Atlanta. I can tell you that right now. I'm definitely going to go back. So that's kind of our shop tour and race report for the week. Of course, we're always going to have more stuff coming. Spring is upon us, so our first big race weekend is over. We came through, no body damage, no problems. We have Hallett coming up in about 5 weeks-ish. It's like 5.5. And so that'll be our next Super Tour. So we're going to be prepping for that in between all the engines and everything else that's coming. So appreciate you guys watching as always. And we will continue to do shop tours as the year goes on, of course, like always. And got to meet some people at Road Atlanta that I hadn't met before. I appreciate you guys coming by and saying hi. And keep after it. Race season, guys. It's my favorite. Well, one of my favorites. I know I say that a lot, don't I? Anyway, keep working on your race cars. If you have any questions, hit me up below. And see you guys next week. Take care. Thanks for watching.